Who is Randy? Don't bring anyone mother into this. Yo, mom in the fucking stand!
Now back to my technical question. You were referencing your show earlier.
Yes.
And I just want to say one of my favorite lines that stuck in my head since I was 15 is when my friend Opal asked me to coach her lesbian softball team while she was away fighting in the Gulf. I said, sure.
She was a sailor, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Now, who's that?
Who's that? That's Buddy Cole.
That's Buddy Cole.
Yeah, that's Buddy Cole.
Now, Buddy Cole is what you're doing now, right?
Yeah,
You're
Buddy
bringing
Cole.
Back Buddy.
You know, like, here's the thing. When I was young, if I was a young gay man today, I would have gone right into stand-up comedy. I wanted to be a stand-up. But it wasn't.
And I've seen you do stand-up in San Francisco at the Punchline when I was in college. You were my first stand-up comedy show.
Whoa, really?
Yes, I never told you this. And I saw you because I recognized you from Kids in the Hall, and I was in college, and I thought, oh, you can do that? You can be in sketch comedy and then become a stand-up? And you totally, again, blew my mind and opened my mind.
Terrible.
No, you were not terrible.
I was so raw.
Yeah, but that was it was fun to watch.
I know, but
you were amazing.
That's you telling. That's you saying.
I think those days I'm mortified by the way I was.
No, you were fantastic, and you blew my mind, and you inspired me. And then,
I would have loved to have been a stand. I became a stand-up the last 15 years. I decided to really concentrate on it and to get good at it, and I love it. But back then, I would have. In fact, in the mid 80s when I was meeting the Kids in the Hall, like 85, 86. I started doing stand-up, but it was so awful. Like the atmosphere from the other comedians, from the audience was so terrible. I just couldn't do it. And so I created Buddy Cole, I think, in a way. That's what I'm trying to get at. Is that I think Buddy Cole was in many ways, he's a character, but he was also my stand-up voice.
Oh,
in a
interesting.
time when I couldn't be that kind of a stand-up.
And now Buddy was based on...
He was based on a
lover.
Yes, he was. He was based on a real lover who died very, very quickly. He was taken... I met him. We had an affair. And I'll never forget it. And he was a very effeminate man. And he was really effeminate. And I found him attractive. And I was like, well, I don't usually like guys like that. But his femininity was like weaponized. Like he was... an alpha queen is what I would say.
Oh, right.
Wonderful.
And so I just found him incredibly attractive. And then I'll never forget it because he died so quickly. I'm not going to say his name, but he died very, very quickly. And I actually remember the night we were together, and I really look back on it, and I think it was the night that he transitioned or transformed. When he had a fever. And you know what I mean? We didn't have sex or anything, and he was just a mess. And he was quite promiscuous. And I really believe, looking back on it, that was the night that the virus took him. And I look at it. I'm so lucky. I was so close to the fire so many times, but I was one of those gay guys that I started having safe sex immediately.
Really?
I was like, I'm going to survive this. And so even if I have to wear a condom the rest of my life, I will. But I started after he died. He dumped me in a very ugly way, and then he died. I mean, I literally knew him for less than a year. He just blazed, and then he died. So many of them did, and I started imitating him with my friend Paul Bellini, because Paul Bellini had a video camera at the very beginning of the home video revolution. And I just started imitating that voice, and that was where he was born. Yeah.
Yeah, and Buddy Cole, by today's standards, I think even back in the early '90s standards, was very shocking.
Oh, he was shocking. Oh, people were furious at him. Straight people were just shocked by him, and gay people hated him because they felt that I was doing a stereotype.
Right.
Which I was.
Which that's the whole point, isn't it?
And I think a lot of gay men were very much in denial about the way they really were.
But like an informed stereotype is hilarious.
Yeah.
That's what people...
And he's smart. Like he's smarter than anyone. He's smarter than any of my characters.
He's enlightened. He's an enlightened guy.
He really is. He doesn't care. He does not care about which way the wind is blowing, right, in his time. All he cares about is the truth.
Right.
And he doesn't. And he knows he's quite often spitting into the wind And that's where I'm at today, actually.
So you're taking Buddy on stage all the
I've
time.
taken, the last year and a half, I've started developing a brand new Buddy Cole show, and it's been going fantastic.
That's great.
It feels like he's needed again.
I agree.
And he, even with the stand-up, which I just love doing it, but I felt like he can take this ball now and run with it.
Yeah.
And you can't really... Even the young SJWs who find everything offensive, they have to listen to him.
Right. He can get away with some
He's
shit.
a war vet.
Yeah.
He's got one leg. He's got PTSD. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's shell-shocked. He doesn't give a fuck. And those youngsters are going to listen.
Yes.
Because he's been around. And I've been around long enough to know that life is cyclical and things come and go. And every time we think we've solved something, we really haven't. We've just fucked it up in a different way.
Yeah, I agree. Kind of this SJW culture now is a remix of the 90s of when we started political correctness, when we started using words like European American, African American, and there weren't retarded people.
Hey.
And, I don't know, but you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
We just renamed
the late
shit.
80s, early 90s is exactly like this time. I also feel like that was a time when there was enormous social and cultural change. You had the AIDS epidemic. You had the collapse of the Berlin Wall, right? The end of the Soviet Union.
We just talked about that.
You had Tiananmen Square. You had massive, massive changes. And today we're in a very similar time. And I think I think the bubble's about to pop.
Great.
And I'd like to be one of the people
you're
that
gonna be, because Buddy does not give a fuck.
It's needed right now.
It is needed because the truth is, it's like I'm doing it out of love and I'm doing it out of knowledge, and I'm not doing it just to be an asshole.
Which is by the way, it's a big part of why it'll work.
I think so.
Audiences always sense intent. Always.
They do. They really
know.
They know. They're animals. They subconsciously.
They do.
There must be an organ that we haven't found yet.
That's right.
But they know, because people say to me after my show, "How do you get away with that? That is an appalling show."
Yeah.
Because
I think they understand the intent.
Of course. Well, and you and I discussed this a minute before we started rolling. I feel like gay men and women, because we're marginalized, there's a certain... You get away with murder in a way. You get to say shit that this guy over here is going to get into a lot of trouble.
That's right. and I don't think, honestly, that's fair. Because I don't think
it's your
that's
advantage,
fair.
and you
it
may
is
as
an
well
advantage,
use it.
and I will use it.
Yeah,
but I don't
celebrate it.
But I don't think it's ultimately fair, because it reminds me of the way it was for me before, when I couldn't say those things, and so I don't like it. But I understand it. But I don't really like it.
Yeah.
No.
But also, I think, like, I do a whole routine in the show where Buddy takes on the Me Too movement, and there's no way a straight man could say what I say.
No.
That's
and
great.
Women, they know that I'm talking to them one-on-one as like going, "Ladies, what the fuck are you doing? It's going too far." And I think women understand that when I say it, I'm talking to them as an equal, like going, "I know when you're being an asshole." And so I think that the asshole behavior of women right now, I'm calling them on it. And only a gay man could do that.
Of course.
Yeah, totally.
And I really do. I'm doing it out of love, and I'm doing it out of... I think I see women in a different way than straight men do, because I'm not after pussy.
Yeah,
to be
you're
blunt.
free.
And I understand males. Everything's about sex.
Yes.
So I don't have to flatter women so that their legs remain open.
Right. You don't care if they're
I don't
impressed.
care if they tie their legs off to me.
Yeah.
And all straight men do. So they're pulling their punches with you. That's what I'm believing.
I think you're right.
They're lying to you.
Oh.
And I'm saying to them, they're lying.
You know what the worst is, though?
What's that?
The straight, full of shit advocate. The guy who's like, "I'm your ally."
The male feminist.
Sickening.
The bullshit.
And the fact that you can't see through them.
Oh, no, I see through them, sweet.
But
I
a
have
lot of women
a lot of chicks
cannot.
It's in my act. I talk a lot of shit about the fake male.
They are
dumb broads.
feminists.
They are pathetic.
Yeah.
Women are stupid.
The ones online that are constantly like virtue signaling and wearing their pussy hats
and their fucking thumb rings.
And
Those guys are dangerous.
They're dangerous.
They're liars.
They're very dangerous.
Yeah.
And you know what? They're not hot.
No, they're not hot. It's not masculine.
It's not masculine.
But see, I like lesbians for the same reason because they're not seeking male approval.
No.
And I fucking love it because they're
Yeah,
just
true.
like, fuck you. I'm going to do
Women are
this.
stupid.
There you go.
Yep, that's true.
That's really nice. So Buddy Cole is doing his show where
Yeah.
at the Lyric, you said.
Lyric Hyperion every Tuesday.
Oh shit! Every
So that
Tuesday.
we should
Yes,
come
you
see
should.
it. Yeah.
I did the preview 2 nights ago. Went great. But starting April 2nd, it'll be every Tuesday for 6 weeks.
Oh, we're gonna go.
We're going
gonna
for
go.
sure.
8 o'clock, Lyric Hyperion.
Great.
It's a residency, which is exciting
Oh,
for
that's
me.
Very
nice.
cool.
So I'm developing this show, and I'm trying to get a special for him.
That would be fantastic.
That's
And
awesome.
I really, the last 20 minutes are just a barn burner. Buddy just goes after, woke culture, Me Too,
This is awesome.
gay marriage. He
What's
just
that great line
brings
you
it
had
all down.
about woke?
Well, the
that
last
line
piece
you
is called
told me?
"Woke Me When It's Over."
Exactly.
That's a great line.
Good morning, Julia. Did you like that highlight? Why not watch a whole episode or look at other highlights here, or you can subscribe right here so you know when the...
Dumb broad.
What? I did that right. I know I did. Did I do that right?
That was a perfect one.
That's a great one.